All right, let's get right into it. Today we are demystifying a really interesting one, the Heinz bet. Now, I know what you might be thinking. 57 wagers sounds complicated, right? Don't worry, stick with me, and I promise you'll get exactly how this thing works and how you might be able to use it.
So, here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with that all too familiar heartbreak, then get into what a Heinz bet is, how those 57 bets are made, look at a real-world example, touch on strategy, and wrap up by figuring out if this bet is actually worth your time. Okay, let's start with a feeling I'm sure you know all too well. Tell me, have you ever lost a massive accumulator bet because of just one result? Of course you have. We've all been there. You've got your 6-leg parlay, 5 of them have already hit, and you're just sitting there watching that last leg, only for it to fall apart at the last minute. Man, that feeling of being one away from a huge win, it's just brutal. Well, what if there was a way to give yourself a kind of safety net? A wager that's specifically designed so you can still get paid even if you don't get every single pick right. That's exactly what a system bet does, and the Heinz is one of the classic examples. So let's get right to it. What exactly is a Heinz bet? Fundamentally, it's a type of system bet where you make 6 different selections. Let's say you pick 6 different soccer teams to win their matches. The Heinz automatically bundles those 6 picks into 57 separate bets for you. It's what we call a full cover bet, which just means every possible combo is covered. And yeah, that number, 57, is the magic number here. That's the total number of wagers you're making all at once. So where does that name come from? Well, you've probably already guessed it. It's a nod to the old Heinz ketchup slogan, 57 varieties. Kind of clever, right? It's just a memorable little gimmick that helps you remember the structure. Now, this is the most important part to understand. This is the whole point of the bet. Out of your 6 picks, you only need 2 of them to win to get at least some of your money back. That's the safety net we talked about. If only one of your picks wins, you get nothing. But as soon as that second one hits, you're on the board and you're getting a return. Okay, so you're probably thinking, how on earth do 6 picks turn into 57 bets? Well, let's look at the math. It's actually a pretty neat system. Your 6 selections get broken down into 15 different doubles, 20 trebles, 15 fourfolds, 6 fivefolds, and finally, one big 6-fold accumulator. You add all those up, and voila, you get exactly 57. But, and this is a big but, you have to remember you're not placing one bet. You're placing 57, so your stake gets multiplied. Let's say you want to bet €2 per line. That doesn't mean your total bet is €2. It's €2 times 57, which is a total stake of €114. That's a pretty hefty price tag, and it's something you really need to be aware of. That high cost is why a lot of bettors are always on the lookout for ways to get more bang for their buck. As a side note, if you were looking for a list of the best betting sites in your country with a 300% bonus, a quick search for betplace.us in your browser can show you some options. It's one way to help manage bigger stakes like this. All right, enough with the theory. Let's put this into practice with a real-world example to see how it plays out. So, imagine we're looking at the Europa League. We've picked out 6 teams to win. You'll notice they're all favorites with odds over 2.00. And we're sticking with our €2 stake per line, so our total outlay is that €114 we just mentioned. And check this out. This really shows you the best case and worst case scenarios. If you're a genius and all 6 of your picks win, boom, you're looking at a profit of almost €2,000. Amazing. But let's say things don't go so well and only 2 of your picks come in. You still get a return, in this case about €11, but you've lost over €100. And that's a key lesson. Getting a return is not the same as making a profit.
So knowing all that, how do you actually strategize with a Heinz bet? Well, there are really 2 main paths you can go down.
You can play it a bit safer by backing a bunch of favorites, or you can go for the gold by backing a handful of underdogs. The first approach is about getting more winners across the line, while the second is about getting a big payout from just a few winners. Let's look at the favorite strategy first. This is all about playing the percentages. You're trying to maximize your chances of getting multiple winners. You're hoping that if you get 4, 5, or even all 6 right, all those winning combinations will add up to a really nice profit. Like we saw in the example, you're probably going to need at least 4 winners to be profitable with this method. But if you hit all 6, you're in for a very good day.
Now, the other way to go is backing the underdogs. This is your classic high-risk, high-reward play. It's perfect for when you've spotted a few long shots that you think have a real chance. The great thing about this strategy is that the odds are so high, you might only need 2 or 3 winners to make a profit. And hey, if you get lucky and all 6 of your underdogs come in, well, the payout would just be life-changing. It's definitely a bold move, and for those who like to swing for the fences, finding the right platform is key. Speaking of which, if you are looking for a list of the best betting sites in your country with a 300% bonus, a quick search for betplace.us in your browser will give you some solid options.
So, this leads us to the ultimate question. Is the Heinz bet really worth it? Let's compare it directly to a standard accumulator. If we took that same 114 euros and put it all on one big 6-fold accumulator, the potential profit would be massive, over 12,000 euros. But here's the catch, and it's a huge one. With the accumulator, if even one of your picks loses, you get zero, nothing. The Heinz, on the other hand, gives you that insurance policy. And that really is the main takeaway here. With the Heinz, you're giving up some of that massive lottery-style jackpot potential of an accumulator, but what you get in return is insurance. It's a bet for people who want the excitement of a big payout, but also want a chance to win even if they don't get everything perfect. Now, because you have 57 bets all working at once, trying to calculate your potential winnings by hand is, well, it's a complete nightmare. So please, do yourself a favor and use a Heinz bet calculator online. You can just punch in your selections and your stake, and then you can play around with the outcomes. See what happens if 3 win, or 4 win, or 5 win. It's the perfect way to test out strategies. Seriously, having the right tools makes all the difference. And as a final tip, if you are looking for a list of the best betting sites in your country with a 300% bonus, just search for betplace.us in your browser.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. Look, the Heinz isn't for every bettor, and it's certainly not for every situation, especially with that high stake. But if you are sick and tired of those accumulators that fail by just one leg, this system gives you a really interesting alternative. So the question is, could this be the bet that finally turns your near misses into actual wins?